This archipelago of Malaysia, which is currently named Langkawi, used to be called Lanka until the 15th century, as per the archaeological records. But this is not the Lanka from Ramayana. This river island on the river Krishna, in modern-day Andhra Pradesh, its name is Lanka. It also has the name Lanka in it, but it is also not the Lanka of Ravana. And this Sri Lanka, which sits right below the Indian Jambudvipa, that is the Indian subcontinent, is also not the Lanka from the Ramayana. I have covered this in another video, but to give you a brief idea about it, it named itself Sri Lanka very recently, like just 50 years ago. Before that, it was called Ceylon, a name that originated from serendip. Yes, the root word for serendipity. Arabs and Greeks used to call it that. The word perhaps came from Simhala Dvipa. Yes, the same Simhala that was mentioned alongside Lanka in Ramayana, clearly indicating that Simhala is not the Lanka from the Ramayana. Then where is the Lanka from Ramayana? We will look into the details in a bit, but I'm going to spoil the video for you here. The Lanka I'm identifying from the Ramayana is not here in the south of India, but here, somewhat towards the east, in the region of Orissa. Now, as we have taken care of that, let's go more into the details about why. Why this place in Orissa is perhaps the real Lanka from Ramayana. To start, here's the first fundamental. The name Lanka doesn't exclusively belong to Sri Lanka. While Sanskrit uses it to describe the mythical city, that is not its root. The old Tamil word Ilankai actually meant inlet or island in ancient times. The word itself may have originated from the same language family to which the Indus Valley civilization belonged. Eventually, Sanskrit adopted the word and used it in its mythos to refer to one specific island among all the others. For the same reason, in the southern part of India and in places belonging to the same language family, areas surrounded by water often have the word Lanka in their names. Now, let's head into Ramayana and start checking some maps. The actual search for Sita began after Rama made his alliance with Sugriva. Sugriva was the ruler of Kishkinda, which was basically a forest kingdom in Dandakaranya forest. Let's first locate the kingdom. When the scouting army of monkeys was sent to find Sita in all the directions, here is how it's described in the Ramayana. Sugriva sends the army to conduct search in Surashtra, Bahalika and Chandrachitra provinces, including their extensive and delightful rural areas and spacious cities. Now, I honestly don't know where Chandrachitra is, but I know where Saurashtra and Bahalika are. They are here, on the map. So from this, we know that Kishkinda is to the west of this line. Then the Ramayana talks about sending a search party to the north, where the provinces of Mlechas, Pulindas, Bharata, Kuru, Madraka and Kamboja were. We can plot them on this map here. So again, Kishkinda will be to the south of this line. Now for the search party sent to the east. We have descriptions of the kingdoms like Brahmala, Videha, Mala, Kashi and Kosala being there. We can see these on our map as well. Let's draw another line. Now to the south, Ramayana mentions that Sugriva's southern quarters had 1,000-crested Vindhya mountains. Then the delightful Narmada river coursing a little towards the south of its range, which we can also see it here. This narrows down the map to this section of Madhya Pradesh, totally away from where historians try to put it in Karnataka. Now, once we have identified Kishkinda, let's traverse the path that Ramayana narrative took to end up in Lanka. Let's go through the entire Ramayana and count how many rivers Rama and his army, including Hanuman, crossed. We totally see the Ganga and Yamuna that they crossed. But then, even though Valmiki mentions the Narmada and Godavari as rivers in multiple stanzas, we never see our main characters cross these rivers. The furthest we see him go to the shores of Godavari around Panchavati. So, we can limit the search for Lanka above these points. Now comes the topic of Dakshina Sagara. Dakshina Sagara or Dakshin Sagar is mentioned as being a body of salt water. So we have to look for the whole region of sea, but also look for river deltas, which also has salt water. Now let's take a look at the other part of the story. After going from the Vindhyas, The army of Sugriva with Hanuman appears on the southern side of the Vindhya, which takes them almost a month. And then they are facing the ocean soon after. Now clearly the ocean that they are seeing has to be in this part of India, as we have already limited our search to the north of Godavari. Later, when Rama and his army, when they are actually traveling to Lanka, Lakshmana is talking about star positions. He shows Rama the planet Venus, which is hanging just behind Rama. Venus being closer to Sun than Earth, we see it only during evening times, right before the sunset, and on west direction. If the Venus Lakshmana shows to Rama is behind him, which means they are traveling from west to east, and not north to south. Let's look for another hint. We find Hanuman atop Mahendragiri, that is Mount Mahendra. So let's look for a mountain named Mahendra. And we do have a mountain within our region of finding. It's here in Orissa. Now it's time to verify this finding with a secondary proof. Mahendragiri is surely mentioned in Mahabharata as well, during Arjuna's Vanvasa Parva, where Arjun puts himself in self-exile. He crosses the boundary of Kalinga, which is modern-day Orissa, and he witnesses Mount Mahendra. This validates our earlier theory of Mount Mahendra being the same one from the Ramayana. Now, as we have established the location of Mount Mahendra, we have Hanuman climb the mountain and jump towards Lanka, which is within the distance of 100 yojanas, which, as per 1 yojana, translates to 0.6 kilometers by modern metrics. We have to draw a circle to find a body surrounded by salt water. And lo behold, we find this town, the town of Sonepur, which is just like an island surrounded by salt water, and is perhaps the town which in ancient times was the Lanka of Ramayana. Not the Sri Lanka, but the real Suvarna Lanka of Ravana. Now let's just not stop here. We need to validate this Lanka to be the real Lanka of Ramayana. So we need further backings for these claims. First thing is, Sonepur, the name, which literally translates to the city of gold, is also the name of Suvarna Lanka of Ravana. The second thing we can see as historical proof is a copper plate issued by the Somavamshi prince Kumara from Suvarnapura in the late 10th century, which reveals that he was the lord of Western Lanka. So yes, this town for sure was called Lanka at some point. A third proof is that there is Lankeshwari temple, which is not too far from here. All of this in addition to the other checklist of Lanka, which we got from the geographical analysis of the Ramayana. Now let's debunk all the other Lanka hypotheses. Let's quickly go through the other candidates from the Ramayana. Sri Lanka, which we already covered at the beginning of this video, was never the Lanka, and was named Sri Lanka in the last 50 years. Some people say the Maldives, which is too far from the mainland. The ancient humans barely had the means to cross the ocean that big. Remember, we barely see any big ships in our ancient epics. They're just not there. Sumatra and Malaysia also can be ruled out by the same reasoning. And then there are these glorious people who I really don't want to talk about. So let's just skip that. Which leaves us with the Lanka that we identified. And I am not the only one who has identified this as the Lanka. It's just that no one ever noticed this. In 1975 in Sonepur, some archaeological explorations found structures of 7 to 8 centuries BC. But they could not go further because of lack of resources. Just as an extra thing to mention, there is this another Sonepur in Sambalpur region of Orissa, not too far from the spot we identified. Some historians do think that this other place in Orissa is the candidate for Lanka, but I disagree with that hypothesis. Ramayana surely mentions the Dakshin Sagar being a body of salt water, and this one isn't it. So, if you are really looking for the golden Lanka, the Lanka of Ravana and Vibhishana, Lanka where Ravana abducted and kept Sita, the Lanka which King Ram eventually conquered, it is not here in Sri Lanka. It was never there. In reality, it was closer to the heart of Jambudvipa, right here by the coast of Orissa. Thank you for watching and please subscribe for more such findings. See you all next time.